Welcome to indigomusic.com. It's time for another round of experience sessions. And joining me today is somebody who I think has become an Instagram sensation right now because I have seen so many of his videos. Joel Jacob, who's a musician, he's a singer-songwriter, he's a recording engineer, he's a mixing engineer, you're a content creator. Joel, is there something you don't do?
I try and do whatever I can, to get by, and because I like doing all of it by myself. So I'm trying to do everything by myself. So
amazing. Yeah. I think I've seen a few of your covers on Instagram. Is that something that's really gained popularity during this pandemic, you think?
So I think a bit more because what I've tried doing is. I've started this thing called Cover Fridays. So basically, I've been putting out videos constantly, I think for the past 2 or 3 months, every Friday. So I've made it kind of like a series. But I've been putting out actually videos since 2013-14 on YouTube. Yeah. So
that's amazing, man. And honestly, I think the way you do covers is starkly different from the usual covers you see coming out, of the cover artist industry, can I call it, because you really put a lot of thought into your arrangement, I think. But before we get to that, do you think you can tell us a little something about your journey with music? When did it all begin?
Right. So I basically started, I've been singing like almost throughout my life, since it started off in church and school, right? In like singing for school choirs and stuff like that, but mainly in church, and then it progressed and I started singing in like competitions and stuff like that. But where I actually started taking like serious interest in music and thinking that this could actually be something is during my 11th and 12th, where I formed a band and I had like an a cappella group. It was an all boys a cappella group, and that was quite fun. So I was very interested in doing 4-part harmonies and arranging and composing stuff like that. So that was very interesting to me. So I wanted to put an effort into creating like these different harmonies and making it sound nice without instruments itself, right? So that's basically a cappella. So that's how it started, and then engineering happened and it was quite boring, honestly. It wasn't my thing. I did mechanical engineering, but then I was like, this is not my scene. I had to drop. I didn't want to do it, and I dropped out of engineering and I did my sound engineering, right? So
you can basically thank engineering for propelling you to doing what you want to do. I think a lot of people that sentiment.
Yeah, totally. So I did my sound engineering for a bit. Before that, I started like performing here and there, like in small venues and pubs and stuff like that. Yeah. But mainly then I started doing my sound engineering. I went for this. There was this. I don't know if you have heard of this reality show. It was called The Stage. Yeah. So I had gone for that for the season 2. And I made it till the rounds in Mumbai. I went there and we did like a couple of rounds of auditions and stuff like that. I made it to top 30 on stage 2. Okay. And then that's a whole nother story. And then I came back and I started doing a lot more gigs. So I started performing with a lot of musicians. Like I'm so honored that I could perform with like some fabulous musicians in the industry, like Konarak Reddy, Tony Das, Naveen Thomas, like a huge number of musicians, and I really enjoyed doing that. My thing is like performing live, and I love performing live because that's like a whole other experience itself. So I think that's slowly the journey. Yeah.
You must really be missing performing live and having that kind of energy now.
I mean, totally, man. Like there's nothing right now, right? Like all the live shows I do, like the few that I've done in quarantine have been like this. Like I sit in front of a camera, and it's a nice experience. But the thing is, you can't. Yeah, it is not the same as an actual live because for me, I mainly feed off the energy from the crowd. Yeah. So because if it's a camera, you're not feeding off any energy, right? It's just you're looking at
I'm gonna ask you to perform in a bit, and I'll try to be the best virtual crowd that possibly can do it.
Awesome.
Like cinematic crowd cheering effects and everything. Okay, but
Amazing.
before you give me a performance, tell me about, like I said, you put a lot of thought into your arrangements, your cover arrangements. They're not just like simple, okay, this is a song I like and this is what I'm gonna do. Like you said, you do the parts and you try a different take maybe. Like, is there a process there?
So, so as I told you, I've been very interested in doing so. The whole point I did my sound engineering is because I wanted to know like the behind the scene process of how do you record music, mix music, because that's been really interesting to me. And also I loved shooting video, filming stuff, and making things look nice and pretty, so what I did was I wanted to do everything by myself because I couldn't afford hiring someone to record for me or getting a studio to go record in. So I basically slowly I picked up a small interface where I could record interface and a mic, so I could record myself, and that slowly kept developing, and eventually I came to a process where if I pick a song which I want to do, I'll probably collaborate with a few artists who I like, and then I basically record the whole video at home itself. So this what you see here is my home studio, my little home studio.
Right?
Yeah. I can see the pretty fairy lights and all that. So I basically pick a song and I wouldn't have heard the song maybe, and I would have heard it like 2 days ago and be like, okay, this is a cool song, let's do it. And my process is actually very quick. If I pick a song, and I work in the night, so I pick a song at around 12 o'clock in the night. I listen to it a couple of times. So, and then I open my software. I use a recording software, so I open that. I just put in the track. I play the guitar, maybe record a few ideas, and just go with the flow. I'll finish it, record the video, edit that, and put it up in like 3 hours. 3 in the morning.
That's so good. And I mean, the outcome of what you just explained is amazing, like what we've seen so far. So since you are in your element right now, you're in your studio with the fairy lights and everything, could you give us a little bit of a performance of maybe your favorite cover song or a song of your choice?
Sure. I'll probably do my original.
Awesome. That works. Okay, what's the name of the song?
The song is called Walking on Fire.
Walking on Fire, take it away. I promise to be good crowds. I'll pretend like I'm at a concert. Maybe there's maybe get one of these things to make it look like I'm wearing something at a concert. There we go. Okay, great.
Whoa, awesome. That'll do. Awesome. Cool.
Okay.
Walking on fire when my heart burns with desire, when she looks into my eyes, no, I'm trembling from inside. I feel so hollow and helpless. Through the storm, our sorrow makes me so reckless. For you, I do it all. I don't know what I am when you're far away. It makes me so lonely. Fire.
feel like a stadium cheer. You know, like what a stadium sounds like. Just close your eyes. I'll make you. Do you get it?
No, where?
Like that's what a crowd sounds like in unison. Get it?
Oh, probably I couldn't hear it. I mean, it was.
Yeah, mostly just air, but that was amazing. And I mean, I know a few people who would kill for those runs, man. Like that's just phenomenal stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, Joel, tell me what is sort of like. I'm not gonna ask you about any long-term plans because it's really hard to plan during a time like this. But what is your immediate goal? Is it to get your music out there to as many people as possible? Is it to get as many followers as possible so you'll have a wider reach? What's your immediate goal right now?
Right. So now I'm actually, as I told you, I'm putting out these regular things. So what I'm trying to do is build be a little more consistent in what I'm doing so that I can put out content and more people can watch it. So I'm trying to get as many eyeballs as I can, because I want to put out my original music, and I don't want it to go unnoticed. So once I have solid set of people who like to listen to what I'm doing, then I can feed them with my own content, and hopefully they like it. So that's the short-term plan.
That's a great start. No, and I think you're already catching a lot of I was going to say eyeballs, but ears, in terms of the covers you're putting out. So that's great. Now I'm going to dive into a rapid fire round, but before we do that, I want you to amateur cover artists out there, and even the ones that are trying to put out their own music, tell them a little, give them a little piece of advice maybe.
I tell you what, so I think whoever's looking to put out covers or videos, what the hindrance was in the start was to just put out that first video, because there's a lot of it's social media, and there is a lot of judgment, and people tell hundreds of things, so you don't you can get negative and good comments, and for me it was oh, what will other people think if I put this video out, or what will people think of me, did I do a good job? So it's that initial that block which you have. It's a mental block, but you should just if you like putting out covers, if you like a song, just cover it and put it out, man. Don't care about what people think initially, because if you like what you're doing, people will definitely end up liking it. Because if you don't like it and you oh my god, I shouldn't do this, if you have that negative aspect about yourself, you should love what you're doing first. So once you do that and put out the video, people will start liking it, and obviously you can't please 100% of the people, but whoever likes it will definitely like it. And then you can start thinking about oh, how can I make the video look better, how can I make the audio sound better. So my first cover which I put on YouTube, it was just my friend playing the keyboard in an empty room, and it was a shit ton of natural reverb, so we just went with that, and another friend held the camera, so the audio was completely coming from this small one small digital compact camera that we had. So we recorded the video and the audio, and I just okay, fine, let's do it, and I put it up online, and it was okay. And then I put out, for the next 4 years, I put out one video a year, which was 4 videos in 4 years. And then is when I started. Sorry?
Such consistency from your end.
Yes, very big. One video in 365 days. It's very consistent. So that's what. So then you just need to start being consistent with it. If your thing is to do covers and get people, and I think that's the best way to do it, because if you don't, and I know a lot of people, this thing goes around, right? People tell, oh, why do you put out covers? What's the big thing? Put out your own music. Why? I don't like covers. I don't like doing covers. Man, where do you get your inspiration from? You can't just be born and start writing your own music. You need some inspiration. You should have heard something that you like.
That's like saying don't make a new Batman movie.
So you should have some inspiration from somewhere that you can get your musical ideas from, because at the end of the day, that's what it all is, sharing ideas, getting creative ideas from other people. That's the whole process. So I go ahead and just put out that first cover too, just do it.
Laws of attraction right there. If you like what you're doing, chances are somebody else might like it too. All right.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So we're doing a rapid fire.
Okay.
Quick answers. All right. Let's go. The top 3 songs on your playlist right now.
Top 3 songs on my playlist. I'm listening to the Dua Lipa album right now, so all 4 songs are on the playlist right now.
If you could be the vocal coach for any celebrity, who would you choose to teach?
So the thing is, I mean, I don't want to. If I'm looking up to someone, I do not want to be their vocal coach. I would want to learn from them.
Yeah. Who do you want to partner up with?
Bruno Mars is my biggest inspiration. So definitely.
Okay. What's a song you secretly love, but you tell everybody that you don't?
I don't have a song like that. If I love the song, I will definitely tell it to somebody. Yeah.
Nothing from the Spice Girls or like Venga Boy?
Venga Boy? No, I openly love Venga Boy.
What's not to love?
Exactly. It's just whole party vibe, the Venga Boys. So I love them.
Think about them for your next cover, okay? I'm just
For sure. I've been thinking about them for a long time, but I've just not gotten to them. So
okay.
Soon.
All right. Which TV show has proven to be a lifesaver during this pandemic?
Friends.
If you could have dinner with any musician, who would it be?
Michael Jackson.
Okay. If you had to get a tattoo of a song lyric on yourself, which lyric would it be?
Oh. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't get a song lyric tattooed on myself. So.
Are you sure? It can even be like a drunken mistake that you can remove later if you have to think of.
No, nothing actually.
Not
really.
Cool. What's an exotic destination you've always wanted to go to?
I want to go to the Philippines. I've been there one time, but I didn't get to explore a lot. So I definitely want to go back there and see them. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. If you could go back to any moment from your childhood, which moment would it be?
It would be the time where I used to spend my time with all my cousins at my grandmother's place, where we all used to come and play together as children. So that's
lovely.
Yeah.
If you could create the soundtrack for any movie, which film would you choose?
For any movie, probably the Avengers.
That would be awesome.
I love that movie. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Finally, if you could give some advice to your present self of the happenings of 2020, what would it be?
I think just take full advantage of the time you're getting, because I mean, this is like the most amount of free time I ever got, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was just for the most part I was just spending it doing nothing. So I'd say take like maximum full advantage and just get your ass to work and do as much as you can in that time.
Yeah, I get what you mean, man. Because the initial like couple of months was just waiting around and saying, oh, it's a good.
Oh, things will get better, yeah.
And then here we are in like August or September. I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost the end of the year, and I don't think it's ending anytime soon. So.
Yeah, that's for sure. Better internet and better technology. Joel, before you leave, there are some questions from our listeners. If you could quickly answer. Okay. Someone asks, what the hardest song you've ever covered is?
Hardest song I ever covered?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Like I think most of the songs I pick are pretty like on the high scale. So, but I think mostly the Michael Jackson and the Bruno Mars songs, like they're on a whole other level. So I think those are the hardest covers, meaning at least range-wise. But production-wise, I think my Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa was the hardest, because that was like during the quarantine, and I had to manage like with the safety and everything. I had to get like three other musicians together to do the song. So I think that probably be the hardest. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. How much do you love being a musician in Bangalore?
Oh, I mean, I love it like 100%. But I would love to go. I mean, if you're talking about in Bangalore and outside the country, I would love it outside the country more, because there are more opportunities, and I think more liking towards English music. Being in India, it's always a little hindrance. But yeah, I think that goes for all musicians for the most part. Yeah.
Yep, fair enough. Okay, finally, someone asks you what your next song that you're going to be releasing is going to be.
The next song, so I'm still it's all in the process. I have like a few songs decided, but I'm not sure which I'm going to release next. So few songs are in the works. So I'll just put it out as and when I feel. Yeah. But y'all can definitely expect it on another Cover Fridays. So.
Oh, which is in 4 days from now, so something to be excited about. And I really hope Venga Boys is part of that list. I'll be waiting.
It might.
Fingers crossed. Joel, this was such a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for joining me today on Xperience Sessions.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
That was fantastic. Joel Jacob on Xperience Sessions. If you want to catch more stuff like this, you know what to do. IndigoMusic.com is the place to be. Bye.